Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Jedi Eternal. I'm one of your hosts, Andrew Bolin, alongside Braxtonian Taylorosophus, the scholar.
I thought we talked about not revealing my full name on the show.
Oh boy,
I'm self-conscious about that.
We are short on time today. What a surprise!
Imagine that.
What a surprise! What a surprise! So we're gonna be jumping straight into things today because we do have a lot of news. We have a lot of sort of rumors, but maybe news. And we also have a good discussion to have in our main topic. We're going to be talking about the High Republic. Phase 1, the entire phase of the High Republic.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to jump into all of that. And again, we are short on time, so we're going to jump straight into it. But first, we do want to say thank you to all of our Patreon producers. That means so much to us. Braxton, can you tell them how they can become a Patreon producer?
Sure. So basically, on Patreon, we have a couple links posted on our Facebook, but of course, we only have one tier, and it is only $5. But like I said, a part of that, you become a producer of our show, meaning that you help get to make decisions and things moving forward, and give us some good input on what you want us to do. Of course, you get exclusive access to our Patreon only and other stuff podcast, where we talk about just anything other than Star Wars, and sometimes even Star Wars. It just depends on the day. And then, of course, you get instantaneous access to our Jedi Eternal episodes and Let's Play episodes as they're uploaded, so you don't have to wait till Saturday every time. So that is, of course, what you get when you get to that single $5 tier. And, of course, as more people join or as more people come along, we were potentially going to have more tiers and more things offered, but thus far that is what we have so far. But Drew, can you tell us who our fine producers are?
Yeah, and we do have a lot of great things planned for our Patreon, like Braxton was saying. So please go ahead, and if you support us now, you will already have access to those amazing future things we do plan to do.
Yes.
But we do want to thank our Patreon producers, and that includes JB, Josh and Birkinshaw, the man himself, Tara Bullen, my wonderful wife, Grace and David Gill, also my wonderful siblings. If you haven't noticed, there's a there's a trend here. They're all family, including JB.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex Mason. No, never mind. Forget that. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I love Alex. I'm just messing with him. No, Alex is awesome. Thank you, Alex. And Jay Camdar, which Jay Camdar is the man. He's been with us now for a while, and yet we still don't really know who he is.
Yeah,
Jay,
Jay,
reach out to us. We'd love to get to know who you are. But we again appreciate it so much. And Jenna Evans, who I just found out the other day, does not listen to us whatsoever. She's just supporting us just because. I was like,
we'll take your money.
I asked her, I was like, so do you ever actually listen to us? She's like, no, I've never listened to you before. And I was like,
we'll take your money. It's okay.
That's fine. I was just curious if you actually listen or not. She's like, no, I don't listen.
Well, at least she's with us in spirit, you know.
Yeah, and she's honest, you know. So anyway, but we still thank her for her support. But let's jump right into our news today. And the first news story we have here might be somewhat sad to some of you, but bittersweet, I guess, is the best way to put it. But Star Wars composer John Williams is retiring from scoring films after Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah.
So essentially, he was being interviewed by the Washington Post, and he said he was working on Indiana Jones 5 with Harrison Ford. And he said that Harrison Ford was announcing that as his last movie. And he thought, if Harrison could do it, then perhaps I can also. So they're planning on going out together.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like this could easily become one of those situations where it's like, oh, they retired. And then, like, 2 years later, they're like, yeah, but we're bringing John Williams out of retirement to score the next Star Wars movie. You know what I mean?
Because it just wouldn't be the same without. He's like, yes, I'm retired. I'm just doing it now for fun.
Yeah, at 90, whatever he is.
900 years old. Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, here's the thing. John Williams, he's old.
Like, that is true. That is true.
Not to be a downer, but like he probably doesn't have that much time left on this earth.
How ageist of you.
So yeah, I totally get if he wants to retire, but you know, if he wants to continue to score cool movies, I'm not against that either.
Yeah, not at all.
But we wish you all the best, John Williams.
Yes, you are the beast. We love you so much. So, like I said, I know you're listening to this podcast right now. So,
Oh yeah, he totally listens.
Yeah. We talked to him the other day. You know.
No, he just supports us on Patreon. We don't
That's
listen.
what it
He
is.
doesn't listen.
That's what it is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, though, and that is Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is set to not start filming this year. I know there were some talks back and forth as to when it was supposed to start. Of course, we're not going to expect it for a little while, but we thought maybe the principal filming might start this year. And thus far, that is not the case. So, Drew, what do you have on that?
Well, so as we know, or at least as we have been told by Kathleen Kennedy, is that Taika Waititi's movie would be coming in December 2023, right? Which originally was going to be Rogue Squadron, but now it's like that's still in this weird, like, may not ever be happening, but definitely not happening first. Okay,
Right,
so
yeah.
that's still kind of in a weird state. But Taika Waititi's is the one that's like, Kathleen was like, yep, that's coming December 2023.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so he was asked recently about this, and they asked if, is this going to be filming soon? He said, not this year. He said, I'm going to be in New Zealand from August until the end of the year with Our Flag Means Death and Time Bandits. And during this time, I will still be writing. And then he said this, I'm still trying to figure out what the story is.
Oh, my gosh.
So
Okay, that's not hopeful.
no, that's concerning.
It's a
in
little
my
worrisome,
opinion.
yeah.
When you got Kathleen over here going, oh yeah, their next movie is by Taika Waititi coming next December.
It's coming next month.
And then
I don't even know what's going
and then
on.
somebody interviews Taika Waititi, and he's like, I'm still trying to figure out what story I'm going to tell.
Wait, what
It's
franchise is
wait,
this?
And it's like, oh, okay. So, am I really loud?
I feel like you're pretty loud. I feel like I'm a little quiet and you're pretty loud.
Testing.
Yeah, I don't know. It won't
We're
matter.
just rolling with
We'll
it.
keep going.
So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to come out in December 2023, but man,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, sure.
I'm kind of tired of this whole like, oh, we're gonna have movies,
but we don't know when.
But we don't know when. We
or
can't
what
tell
they
you
even
anything
are.
about them. But
Right.
there's gonna be more Star Wars movies.
It could happen though.
Do I think it's? I'm not necessarily against the fact that we've waited a while because
Yeah.
I think it's been good for Star Wars to kind of have a break from the theatric films.
Yeah.
But we're getting so much Disney Plus series
Yeah.
that now I'm kind of like, okay, I think I want another like
Feature length
huge
film, you know.
feature length Star Wars movie, and like let's see what they can do with it.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to overstay our welcome or overdo a good thing with these Disney Plus shows, which they're trying.
They're really working on us here, aren't
Yeah.
they? With the last two. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll
Andor. We'll
Yeah.
see what we're.
Fingers crossed. Let's see.
So, next in our news, we have Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023. Tickets went on sale this past week. And it's my understanding that they sold out very quickly.
Yeah.
At least the like 4-day passes sold out very quickly. And I saw where some people were like, they were buying tickets like per day, which was of course like a huge,
way more money. Yeah.
like increase of money when you do it that way. But people were doing that because the 4-day passes were gone so quick.
Instantaneous. Yeah.
And some people were saying like, oh, they're doing this on purpose. And I don't know if that's the case, but
Yeah.
but what I do know is, unfortunately, I will not be there.
Yeah,
And
well,
that breaks
me
my
either.
heart.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of very kind benefactor who wants to pay for our way there.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll
if
take
you are
that,
listening and you just like sitting on a huge stack of money right now,
and you
and
want
you've
to
been
support
like,
us,
man,
there.
what should I do with this huge stack of money
I literally have
that I'm
nothing
using as
better
a chair?
to do.
You can give that to us, and we will go to Star Wars Celebration for
Exactly.
you, and we will report on Star Wars Celebration. So,
Exactly.
um,
We can FaceTime you. We'll do whatever you want. You know?
so yeah, just think about it. Just think about it.
And if we can't go, JB, hey, this might be your perfect chance to
JB.
go. So,
Yeah, JB, if you plan to
is
be
it in London? Is it in London? Where was that? I think it was London, right? I'm like 90%
It's at
sure.
the Excel Center. I don't know where the Excel Center's at though. But yeah, London.
Okay.
So
yeah.
JB, if you're going, I don't know exactly where you live, but if you're near the Excel Center and you want to go and report on Star Celebration for
Yeah.
us, we will totally have you do that.
Oh, yeah,
and we
come
will
on.
give you absolutely nothing in return.
Except our
Except
love and appreciation.
Our love and appreciation.
Yeah.
You will get absolutely no money, though. So,
Because we don't have any money.
Just think about it.
So anyway, we'll go ahead and move on because we're having fun. We're not allowed to have fun here.
No fun allowed.
So our last news piece for this week is that Disney is, in classic Disney fashion, selling a $5,000 Star Wars drink on a new Disney cruise line. So let me say that again. They're selling a $5,000 drink. Let me get closer to the mic here. Drink. Okay? Drink. $5,000 drink on a cruise line. You know, I'm not going to go on a rant here because I really could and I really want to, but we don't have time. But okay, just Drew, what are your thoughts on this?
Who are they?
Who are they marketing this to?
Yeah, who are they marketing this whole thing to? Like, what kind of audience are they reaching for?
Excuse me. Let's do a survey. Why isn't nobody coming to our Galaxy's Star Cruiser thing? We just don't get it. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's like their entire marketing is like all for the overly rich people that are not your average audience. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like it's very strange. It's definitely not geared towards families. Like, if you're a Star Wars family, forget anything to do with what they're talking about here. I mean, let's just go into this a little more here. So the drink itself, right? They're calling it the Kyber. It's not even spelled right here. I don't know if that's on purpose or maybe they messed up here.
Maybe some kind of like drink.
But it's supposed to be the Kyber crystal, but it's Kaiburr crystal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, it's going to be aboard the Disney Wish, and it currently checks in at a whopping $5,000.
It's a drink. Like, what could possibly be in that drink that's worth $5,000?
Here's the best thing. So it comes in the old school ice cream machine thing, right?
Yeah.
Like what do they call it? What's the actual cannon thing that they use it for?
I don't know the name, but it's a safe, right? Basically.
Yeah. And so it has the mechanical doors and a smoke effect when it opens. And you grab the glass. Now, guess what? The glass, shot size.
Oh my god!
It's a shot size glass for $5,000.
I don't know what to tell you on that one.
So,
I'm just wow.
Yeah, and then the cruise ship. The cruise ship starts at $2,000, with rooms as expensive as $10,000.
Yeah.
And again, if you want this shot glass sized drink, you can get it for $5,000. I mean, it truly blows me away.
All I'll say is death to corporations. But anyway,
and it's one of those things like, well, okay, I mean, you know, if there's somebody that can do it, then whatever. But for me, it's like, I just again, who are these things marketed towards?
I don't know.
Jon Favreau himself when he goes on a cruise,
I don't think you would even get.
And
it.
he probably gets a free one.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't have to pay the $5,000, but like, who? I mean, the kind of person that wants to go on a cruise and buy a $5,000 drink, I don't even want to talk to you.
I don't even care who you are, because I don't even want to know. I don't want to speak to you.
Like, if that's what you want to do with your $5,000, just don't even talk to me, okay?
Just don't even talk to me. Because we're clearly not in the same mindset here.
That's my final thing on it.
We're peaking so bad.
I don't know what's going on. I hope this recording is salvageable, but we don't have the time to figure it out.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your monitor on the side there, and it looks
testing.
Testing.
I don't know. We just gotta roll with it.
We're gonna roll with it. Okay, let's move on though. So let's go ahead and do our rumors, Drew.
Yeah, we didn't have time to test, and my system here in the studio is notorious
always
for like changing things while none of us are here. It's like it's got like a little ghost in it that's messing with sliders and stuff. I don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe it's my dog.
Could be. Sage just messing with stuff.
She's trying to destroy this podcast because she hates that I'm not paying attention to her during it.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly
all right, going into our rumors, and I do want to preface here that our rumors today are kind of are very close to being straight up news. Some of
Yeah.
the things we're talking about today and these rumors are official news, but not everything inside of the story here
Yeah.
is 100% accurate. So we're kind of treating it as rumor, even though some of it is accurate. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of bring that up.
Yeah.
So our first one here is Obi-Wan Kenobi movie trilogy was planned before Disney Plus. So, Braxton, we've talked about this many times throughout the years, even
Right.
before we had a podcast about a Kenobi movie. That used to be the thing, right?
Right,
Before Disney
yeah.
Plus, no one even talked about it, about a
Right.
series. It was
Exactly.
everyone just thought movies, so it was we want an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. And in an exclusive interview with the direct's Nathan Johnson, Kenobi writer Stuart Beattie talked about his role in making the Ewan McGregor project and how it was originally imagined as a full trilogy.
Yeah.
And Beattie was credited as a writer for episodes 1, 2, 3, and the season finale of the series. And Beattie revealed that he only wrote the screenplay for the original feature film that the show was based on and never collaborated with the series writers. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So he's credited as being certain episodes, but he actually never collaborated on the series.
Yeah.
He only collaborated on it when it was a trilogy.
Yeah.
So, very interesting.
Very interesting for sure.
But he said that that Solo's box office performance was the reason that the Kenobi movie
Yeah.
never got made. The trilogy never got made.
Which is so sad.
And
honestly.
so when that happened, when the decision was made not to make any more spin-off films after Solo came out, he jumped. He just left the project, went on to do other things.
Yeah.
Joby came on and took his scripts and turned it from 2 hours into 6. And so he basically said, so I did not work with them at all. I just got credit for the episodes because it was all my stuff. So that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And kind of brings to attention kind of some things we already assumed and
Yeah.
what we've talked about on how it felt kind of like they took a 2-hour story and stretched it into something much thinner.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And so he said the original story pitch, and I actually really like some of this. The original story pitch was for 3 stories for Obi-Wan Kenobi. The first of which ended up becoming technically what we got, except for some differences, and we'll talk about what those differences are. And he what's interesting, he never actually mentions what his third one was going to be, but he does talk about his second one. So let me read what he said here because it is very interesting. He said, so when I pitched my Obi-Wan story to Lucasfilm, I said, there's actually 3 stories here because there is 3 different evolutions that the character has to make in order to go from Obi-Wan to Ben. And the first one was the first movie, which was the show, which was surrender to the will of the Force. Transport your will. Surrender your will. Leave the kids alone. So then the second movie was thinking about where Kenobi ends up. And one of the most powerful and probably the most powerful moment in all of Obi-Wan's story is that moment where he sacrifices himself in A New Hope. Great moment, makes you cry. But if you stop and think about it, it's a pretty sudden thing to just kind of go be fighting a guy to see Luke and go, I'm going to die. That to me, that required forethought. That required pre-acceptance that this was going to happen. So again, if it's one of those universal things we all struggle with to come to terms with our own mortality, so that was the second step of the evolution for me. That Obi-Wan now has to come to terms with his own mortality, somehow in a prophecy, or Qui-Gon telling him, there's going to come a moment where you're going to have to sacrifice yourself for the good, and then Obi-Wan is like, what? No, I'm here to help. I can't, no. And get him to the point where Obi-Wan has accepted the idea that he's going to die, and that he's going to die willingly at a crucial moment. And you will know when that moment presents itself, so that when that moment comes up in A New Hope, you understand. He's recognizing he's been on this journey already, and he's waiting for this moment, and that's how he's able to make it so easily to do this.
Just to
and
pause
die.
there for a few seconds, is like what's actually interesting is that if you watch A New Hope in that moment where he puts his lightsaber up, to just accept his death, what's interesting is that he's fighting, and all of a sudden he looks at Luke, and then he kind of almost smirks, and then puts. So that's actually okay.
Yeah.
I could see that being a pretty cool tie-in.
No, yeah, and I think what he had here, what he's saying here is really good stuff, and I think he got it. And from what I hear of him saying here, I think he understood what we needed from Kenobi, what we needed to see him do. And so, I'm, again, as I said, I wanted this to be a movie. After I've seen the series,
Yeah,
I think it should
yeah.
have been a movie. I think it should have been a 2.5 hour movie, and call it good.
Mm-hmm.
And now seeing what he has to say, I totally see a second movie, because yes, the first one was about the acceptance, right, and all of that, and to
Mm-hmm.
stay out of it with the twins and blah blah blah. And he gets to that point in the end of the series too, but yes, now it's about his journey to accepting his future, accepting what he will have to do, and how he gets to that point where he's totally willing to sacrifice himself,
Right.
for the greater good. And I think it could have been a phenomenal
Sure.
trilogy. Now I'm really
Yeah.
curious what the third one would have been about
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
how that would have tied
Well,
to,
and
but he
it,
does
maybe
not
it's like
say.
journeys in like being one with the Force and like teaching Luke after that somehow. But that'd be a weird
It'd
movie.
be a really weird movie, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but anyways, we may never know. I don't know, but
Yeah.
you have to imagine maybe they'll take a little bit from what his idea for a second movie and turn it into a second series for Kenobi.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True.
with those things in mind, that's something we'll have to consider. But one of the other things that we learned from this is that they also had planned on killing off Riva in the original script. So Riva was involved in the original, I guess, movie, is what it originally was.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to say that he created Riva. He said Riva was completely his character, but there's a couple differences. One of them, was that she didn't know Darth Vader was Anakin in his version.
Which
Again, like everything that he's
should have
saying,
been.
it just
It's
sounds
like,
better, right?
why did we not
It's
get
like,
this?
yeah, I'm telling you,
Because this, okay, we talked about it. Literally, we talked about how Kathleen Kennedy scrapped the entire original thing because of like she thought it wasn't good enough or whatever we said it was at the time. I'm like, of course, leave it to her to scrap the thing that we're like, okay, this actually sounds.
yeah, and it goes on to say, yeah, except the only little difference in mine was that she didn't know Darth Vader was Anakin. Because I was like, how'd she know that? All she saw was Anakin as Anakin because he hadn't changed in the suit yet, right? So Anakin killed her friends, put the scar on her, almost killed her, left her for dead, basically. So in her mind, the Jedi Council were the biggest villains in the galaxy. She believed the lies that they were plotting a coup to overtake and get power and all that, but they were stopped by the clones. So she believed that's why she's hunting Jedi, because she believed the Jedi are the worst.
Yeah, I mean that makes more sense to me.
And then it goes on to say, because I figured, how would she know this thing in a mechanical suit that everyone calls Darth Vader is the guy who killed her or tried to kill her? So it was Obi-Wan kind of letting her in on that secret and that revelation that makes her kind of go, oh, I've been wrong this whole time. And so she goes and basically goes and helps Kenobi by sacrificing herself, telling Vader, I killed Kenobi. And then Vader killed her with her knowing that Vader would kill her. So that kind of completed her arc. So just a little bit different than she was, yeah, absolutely, the Inquisitor hunting Kenobi all the way through and driven by her own personal demons. The only thing I have to say there is I'm not sure I like the idea of her like essentially saving Kenobi.
Yeah.
Again, that was actually one of my fears, is they were going to do this thing where like she
became the hero.
yeah, and that looks like actually what his plan
Yeah,
was. So
yeah.
okay, so let's like meld the 2. Let's
Mm-hmm.
have her be, let's have her
See,
not know he was Anakin,
yeah.
but
But whenever she figures out it is Anakin, it's not to help Kenobi, but out of sheer anger, she goes to attack him. And then it's not that she's a hero, not that she's, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, but she tries to attack him and take him down for what she did to him, or, he did to her.
Yeah.
And then she just subsequently dies. I think that would have been a nice combination of the two.
yeah, and so what we do get there is that he said basically it was just Riva. There was no other Inquisitors involved. And he also originally had Commander Cody involved as well.
Wow.
And Commander Cody, in his story, would have eventually taken out his chip,
Good
and would have been
grief.
like trying to make up for the stuff that he had done. And so again, really interesting things that they could
Hmm.
have done there, but they didn't. So that's it. That's
'Cause
that's
why
it.
not?
That's all, folks. Again, this I put this in rumors because yeah, I mean the dude said all kinds of stuff about his script, but
Yeah,
like,
but you don't know if it's
how do
true
you?
or
Yeah,
not.
exactly. I mean, how much do
He can
you
say whatever he
really know?
wants,
He can say whatever he wants. He knows what people didn't like.
Yeah, he could
You know what I
he
mean?
could have literally
So
seen all the complaints online and then perfectly tailored his quote unquote
exactly,
original script to.
exactly.
Yeah,
So if you want to go ahead to our next story.
All right, so our next rumor is that Andor season 1 has its writers and directors revealed. Again, in one of those situations where it's kind of on the border of news, kind of on the border of rumor. We don't have exact confirmation, but it does sound very probable. So, Drew, what do we have on that?
Yeah, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but we're just going to reference this very quickly for you guys. And that is that we have Toby Haynes directing episodes 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10. Susanna White directing episodes 4, 5, and 6. And Benjamin Caron directing episodes 7, 11, and 12. So that's interesting. They said that both seasons will work in blocks of 3 episodes. And so the directors will therefore basically work in blocks of 3 episodes. We know this has 12 episodes. And we know that they said that the first season is essentially like a year's time, I believe, is what they said. And
Yeah.
then the second season, they're now planning to do 3 blocks again, right, for each director or whatever, their story. But each of those 3 blocks in the second season will be a year. And that will lead us directly into A New Hope, because that'd be 4 more years.
Right.
The first season will be 5 years before A New Hope. 4 years, or before Rogue One.
Yeah.
So then it will go straight into Rogue One.
Some interesting time jumps then.
Yeah, so it'll be some big time jumps in the
Yeah.
second season, leading into Rogue One. So interesting stuff there. We'll of course continue to talk about Andor. I would say in the early August we'll really be ramping up Andor talk. I'm sure we'll have a new trailer around that time and more information just in general.
Yeah, for sure.
As this ramps up. So
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go into our final rumor here, and that is that The Mandalorian Season 3 is undergoing reshoots. So Katie Sackhoff, who plays Bo-Katan, she was unable to be at a fan expo due to additional filming for a project, which the actress all but confirmed was the 3rd season of The Mandalorian.
Interesting.
She took to Instagram to make an apology for her absence, in which she said the following: "I ended up working much later than anticipated on a little show that we all know and love, and it made it quite difficult for me to get myself to the convention in time. This is the way." So it all but confirms that is exactly what she is doing. And Giancarlo Esposito previously mentioned that he would be returning for more Mandalorian shooting in the summer because he tells everybody everything.
Because you can't trust it, they would not.
So I don't think this is anything to fear here. I mean, people always get like scared about reshoots. But again, reshoots are very common. I would say most every project does reshoots. And that's because, not necessarily because of things going bad, but when they sit down and they start to piece these things together, sometimes they do realize, oh, well, we need this additional shot, or we need this, it's very common. It's not a bad thing. A lot of times it's a good thing because they care and they want to make this as good as it can be.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that takes reshoots. And so I don't think there's any issues here. I think we will see this early next year sometime. Hopefully sometime in the spring.
Yeah.
Or very late end of winter. I'm not really sure yet on how that's going to work out, but Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be exciting. I've said, I've seen a trailer. Clearly this movie is very already well put together. Because when I saw it, it looked like a completed project. So I mean, as much as they showed, and they showed a lot. Trust me, it wasn't like they showed like a little sliver. They showed, I mean, they basically showed a full on trailer, and there was a lot of good stuff in it. So
yeah.
So it's definitely on the go here, and we'll be here soon. So let's jump into our releases, and I'm going to go ahead and show some of these releases here for you guys. I will say that we will not have our podcast for a couple of weeks, maybe a while before we get back. We have some different things going on. We'll be doing Let's Plays in the meantime. But so I'll give you guys a little bit longer here than we normally do. But on July 13th, we have Bounty Hunters issue number 25. On July 20th, we have Han Solo and Chewbacca issue number 4. Also on July 20th, we have Star Wars issue number 25, Darth Vader issue number 25. And then on July 26th, we have the new YA novel Star Wars Padawan by Kirsten White, which is going to be about Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, of course, I will be very excited for that one. July 27th, we will be getting Dr. Aphra issue number 22, and also on July 27th, we will get Obi-Wan Kenobi issue number 3. Yes. So it's kind of a little bit of a look at the week, or at the month of July for you, but a lot of good things there. Braxton, we are, again, really running short
I know,
on
I was just about
here.
to say this.
So I'm not sure exactly what we should do.
So unfortunately, we're caught in a rock and a hard space because I don't know, some kind of technical difficulty today. I literally posted our community discussion question and I went back to check on the answers for recording and it wasn't there. Otherwise, we would do that and then go ahead and cut it out. But unfortunately, like I said, I think we only have one answer right now. Brandon Dukes came in clutch, but unfortunately, so we only have one answer at this time. So, you know what I'm saying? So we don't really have much to talk about there. So we just want to save it. It's a good question. So we want to save it until we can do it more fully. And like I said, also our main topic that we was going to do today was, of course, that we was going to go over the High Republic Phase 1, the entire phase.
Here's the deal. It's a big one, right?
It's one anticipated too. I know a lot of people want us to talk about it.
And I don't feel like we can do it justice.
Exactly.
And I've been talking so fast just to get us to where we're at now, and we're literally, we need to go. I apologize to our listeners that this is what happens. We always do this. We're always in a rush. I don't know how this
To
happens,
be fair, it's not for lack of trying, though. I mean, as soon as I got off work, I came to Andrew's
It's not lack
house,
of trying. It is not lack of trying. We did try.
Yeah.
We will get a High Republic Phase 1 review or discussion, whatever you want to call it, to you guys eventually. Unfortunately, that will not be today.
Maybe next episode, though. Next podcast episode. We'll see what happens.
I would say there's a good chance of that, unless something surprising shows up before then.
Which we'll take it.
I will... So we do have a couple minutes that we could spend here real quick. I will say I do have the... I am reading Shadow of the Sith, and it is a phenomenal book. I am not done. I don't even believe I'm halfway yet. But already from what I've read, I will tell you that this is one that you should all, if you are a Star Wars fan and you read books, this is one that I would consider essential reading. And I don't know that I've felt that way about any other canon novel yet. I'm looking at my books over here. I really don't know that I can say any of them have been essential until maybe now.
Really? See, that's pretty surprising. That's pretty surprising.
And again, it's just because this is a period that we don't have much on, and it actually helps fill. It's already filled some of the questions or emptiness that the sequels left us with, that I think this is doing a really good job of filling, and it's very gratifying to read.
Sure.
So I would recommend it to you guys. Again, I'm not finished, so it could fall apart in the second half. So I mean, it could.
It could just be
horrible. It could. It could do something weird, and then I hate it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But from what I've read so far, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really invested in the story and seeing where it goes. So I would, as of now, recommend it.
Sweet.
Do you have anything else that you want to mention before we jump off of here?
Not particularly. Just what you said. I'm thinking about having to jump into this book because again, I've been failing in my reading recently.
Bum, bum,
I haven't read
bum.
anything for a while, but yeah, I mean, this you saying this feels essential. You know, a lot of the books have been coming out. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything. It's just none of them felt like I need to read this. You know what I'm saying? Unlike the High Republic, because High Republic is this whole new story. You're learning it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the side stuff is just like additions to characters we already know and stuff. But this is like a whole new era of Luke and that story that we don't fully know
Yeah.
yet.
Do you want a couple teases? Or do you not want any teasers?
Sure, yeah,
Do you want a
that's
couple,
fine.
just like
Yeah.
a couple of little like
What kind?
what? What's that face
I'm
about?
saying, what do you mean? Like, what kind of teases?
What are you-
What are you laughing at?
What are your face? The face you're making. No, like some of the things you might see in the book or read about in the book.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give away like any huge plot details, but like
Yeah.
just for example, you will get to see Luke Skywalker on the planet that his Jedi temple is on.
Spoil it.
You will see him there with his students, including Ben. Right, so like
yeah.
you see some of that,
Yeah.
and you're also seeing Rey as a young child
Yeah.
with her parents. Again, this isn't spoilers because they talked about this like in the like press releases, but you see her parents. You find out their names.
Really? Wow.
They're actually like you actually get flashbacks to Rey's father as a child. So I mean, if you really think about that, you'll start to know what I mean by that and how that could be interesting.
I don't get it.
Also, you get of course Luke Skywalker and Lando. You see they're reuniting and then you get some other surprising characters make some appearances.
Interesting.
Including, I will just say this as a tease, one very, 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 very important character to Star Wars makes an appearance in this that you would not expect. You would not expect this character to make an appearance in this book. That's all I'll say. But they not only are in this book, but they have very important interaction with Luke Skywalker that many of you have really wanted to see this interaction. That's all I'm gonna say.
Huh. Interesting.
So
Okay.
just some teases. Eventually, we will review this book and we'll talk about all of this in spoiler detail. So if you're not one to read, that's okay. I'll spoil all of it for you later in a review. But if you don't want the spoilers and you really want to read this for yourself and then come listen to us talk about it so you can be in the know, go pick up the book. It's good.
That was good.
But we got to go.
All right, we gotta go. You took too long. Yeah. All right, no, for though, we want to thank everybody so much for you guys listening to us and supporting us. Again, we want to apologize for the kind of the shortness of this episode and the lack of stuff, but we wanted to at least get an episode out there so you can have the newest news and rumors and releases that are coming out and a little bit of discussion here and there of some other stuff. But we thank you so much for your support. We thank you so much for listening to our podcast, and of course, we always look forward to hearing from you. We would love for you to comment or send us DMs or just ask a question or just say hi, whatever. We want to hear from you. But with that said, we also ask you please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. On some of the social media parts, we do weekly news and memes, polls, discussions, and things like that. It's usually pretty much memes recently, but so if you like any Star Wars memes, then you'll like that. Also, we would ask that you would follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leave us a review if you'd be so kind, because it really does help. You know, if you're kind of a long-time listener, but you don't really follow us or you haven't left a review, we would really appreciate that because it does help with any kind of not sponsorships necessarily, but reaching out to Disney to get book reviews and things of that nature really helps. But we thank you so much for listening, and we'd ask you to join us next week for the newest episode of our Lego Star Wars Let's Play series, which has been super fun. And join us in 2 weeks from now for episode 82 of the podcast. But last but not least, may the Force be with you, and we thank you for joining the Jedi Eternal.